I arrived in Korea and went to the mission home. That was our first day. We arrived at the mission home at like 9 o'clock at night, and we had interviews with the president and went to bed. Slept in my first morning, but I don't think president minded too much. I think all of us were pretty jet lagged. And I got my trainer that day. She was a Korean. Her name was Sister Pak, and we served together for the next 10 weeks in an area out in Incheon. And she was great. I learned a lot from her about patience and a lot about how to do missionary work and how to be an effective missionary. I feel like we learned a lot from each other. Her area was a bit of a harder area, and we tried to work together in order to do that, but she spoke English fairly well, and I spoke Korean very poorly at this point, but we somehow made it work. We somehow communicated well, and yeah, I don't know, my very first week in the field, I just remember going out on the streets like all day long, every single day. We do it's called jando in Korean, proselyting. I don't really know what you call it in English, but so whenever we did jando, it was just hour after hour, we would be on the street corners and just talking to people, and it was really hard. Probably my first several transfers was very difficult to talk to people because I'm at heart a very shy person and don't really like to get out and talk to people. But I was out on the streets, and my trainer would be like, just go up and say hello, ask them what religion they are. I'm like, and it was just step by step trying to get over that fear of talking to people, because I wasn't very comfortable doing that. But she was great in helping me to start to overcome that. I didn't quite get over that till several months later, and I started finally being able to be comfortable to just walk up to a person and say like, hey, how's it going? I'm a missionary. Have you heard about this church? And most people would be like, no, I don't want religion. But I don't know, it was a very good learning experience. But I have to say, probably the hardest part about my first 2 transfers as a greenie was probably the language. The language, Korean, is very difficult, and even now I still don't think I don't fully know it. I can teach the gospel. I could do my calling as a missionary, but I can't do much else outside of that. But the language is probably the hardest. But also through that, I saw so many blessings and so many miracles as the Lord helped me to remember things and to help me to become the missionary that later I was able to become.